daily dose of Austin Real Estate Daily. Don't forget to check us out on the web. Welcome to your daily dose of Austin Real Estate Daily. Two Central Texas mortgage guys talking about Central Texas real estate. Check us out on the web at www.austinrealestatedaily.com. That's Austin Real Estate Daily because real estate happens on a
daily basis.
Don't forget it's on a daily basis. My name is John McClellan.
I'm Jason Lewis.
And we're here to give our little video blog about what's happening around Central Texas. Jason, I know there's a lot going on. Mopac,
one of the other things that has come out yesterday is something that you and I are very familiar with. One of the few bad things about living in Austin is the traffic. But it looks like there may be some help on the way. There's an initiative or an actual project called the Mopac Improvement Project, which started this Wednesday.
Actually, it started about 15 years ago, but it keeps stopping.
The new phase of this started on Wednesday. They are going to resurface the Mopac from Palmer all the way down to, actually, cut that over because that doesn't know what they're doing. They are going from 2222 down to Cesar Chavez, and they're resurfacing it. That is supposed to cut down on noise and help with traction. Second part of that they are starting there right afterwards is going to be to actually restripe the lanes, adding a fourth lane.
Yeah, so what they're doing is they're basically creating a tollway on an existing freeway here in the Austin area. It's not a traditional toll that you think of like out on
45,
on 45 or 130. This is a managed lane, and there's some other cities around the United States that are doing these managed lanes. And what it is, it's kind of like the whole supply and demand. What are you willing to pay to use this managed lane? So what they're going to do, starting at Palmer Lane and going all the way down to the river, is they're going to create a new lane, one going north and one going south, kind of like an HOV lane. And what this will be a managed lane. So depending on how heavy traffic is and how much demand there is for that lane, that will determine the price for getting into that lane. It could be up to as much as $10 to ride in the managed lane. So we'll see how that works out.
$10?
$10. Now, I've been sitting in Mopac traffic before on the way home.
I spent $20.
I would have spent $100 to go a little bit faster and get home. So we'll see how that works out. Obviously, it's on existing roadway. I think it's a great way. Philosophically, I think it's still a good thing because people have an option. You can use the regular lanes that don't cost anything, well, that day, or you can use the managed lanes, and it's a pay per ride on there depending on the demand. So at midnight at night when there's not any traffic, it probably won't cost anything to ride in the managed lane, but during rush hour traffic it can cost up to $10 to get into that managed lane. Another thing, as Jason said, that they're going to be doing is they're going to be resurfacing the road between 2222 and the river. This is supposed to cut down on noise reduction, on the noise that's coming from Mopac. Also, they've got plans for some 12 to 15 foot walls, sound walls, between 2222 and the river that are also going to put up. So the question here is, what does this mean to Austin real estate? If they put the new surface on where it's going to cut down on the noise, and if they put those walls up, how will that affect real estate that backs up to Mopac? How will it affect the real estate that's one or two roads in that's still getting that street noise? Will it increase the value of those properties when this does happen? I guess it's yet to be determined.
Well, first off, as we had mentioned yesterday, Watchers. As we had mentioned yesterday, jobless claims came out. They were actually a little better than expected. They were down 18,000 from last week, about 6,000 better than projections, but maybe a little misleading. Doesn't take into account people who have either lost their benefits or are receiving emergency benefits.
So the government's reporting numbers that aren't not exactly accurate? Is that what you're saying?
Strange.
Weird. Okay.
The Labor Department actually says that 3.3 million people will lose their benefits by next month if there's not some emergency legislation passed.
You mean like the emergency legislation that they keep passing
It's
over
already been passed.
over and over again? Because you know Nancy Pelosi did say that jobless unemployment claims are one of the biggest job makers.
I like to think that it will, and those areas are already very expensive that Mopac runs through, but I can't see how that wouldn't help them.
Absolutely. Well, and a lot of times, anytime a house backs up to a freeway, it's about a 30% discount to anything like on the other side of the street that would not be backing up to a major highway like Mopac. So putting those walls up, putting the sound dampening on the road should increase the value of those properties that are adjacent to Mopac. So we'll see what happens. Sure. I want to introduce a new segment to the show. It's our weekly viewer email. Jason, you got an email from one of our
I do.
viewers.
I got an email from Jonathan Hill in Cedar Park who asks, if we agree on a sales price with the seller and the seller is paying closing costs for us on the property and the property does not appraise, are we simply out the inspection appraisal almost $800, or does the seller have to pay the lower sales price? Have to take the lower sales price? We still play closing costs.
Real estate. Jonathan, you're going to have to go back and renegotiate real estate agent. Is the three aspects, the three great aspects that make a great real estate professional. That is experience, knowledge, and activity. Let me tell you about those three things. Experience. You've got to use somebody that has a lot of experience under their belt. Experience is how you learn. It's how you're proactive on the things that are happening in your market. Number two, you want to use somebody who is knowledgeable. Jason, I know you and I both go to sleep thinking about real estate. We wake up thinking about real estate. We dream about real estate. So you want somebody who's a student of the game, who really understands and loves what they do. Number three, probably the most important thing though, is you want somebody that's active in the market. If they're not active in the market, they don't feel the ebbs and flows of what's happening around them. If you got an agent that's doing 2 or 3 transactions a month, he really, really understands what's going on. If you have an agent that's doing maybe 1 transaction every couple of months, they really just don't get a feel for what's going on. Things could have passed them by, there could be new things happening in the market that they don't realize.
Every day.
Absolutely. So listen, 3 things you want to look for. Experience, knowledge, and activity. Look for those 3 things, activity I think being the most important. Talk to you guys next week.
See you soon.